All right, Jake. Let's move ahead. That's enough Wisconsin talk. Enough in the past. We're going to dwell in the past a little bit, but it's more of a for an overlook of the entire season. So far, Jake, we'll start with the bad. What's been the bad so far for Alabama in 2025?
The bad for me is the lack of a Russian attack. Kevin Riley, he's shown flashes, but again, I guess you could, it's kind of a two-edged sword here because we have talked about that. We really hadn't needed to establish a run the way Ty Simpson's playing, but I still would like to get a little bit more yardage on the ground. Really, when you get in SEC play, 78 yards, as a unit is not going to cut it. So we need to get in the 150, 200 yard range as a collective unit at least, and maybe that changes with Jam Miller when he comes back. But I like to see more intensity and see offensive linemen, get some holes and have our running backs get into the second level and let them make plays, because we do have some good guys, some shifty guys at running back that can make plays and whenever they get in the second and third level.
That I think that's a great place to kind of dive into, Jake, here as far as what's kind of went wrong for Alabama so far this year, and it is the rushing attack,
Right.
And I'll say this: I'm not as concerned as most people are about it, but I understand the concern,
Right.
because it has not been as good as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
But there's always reasons for things.
Yeah.
So let's break that part down. Should we be surprised that Alabama has not been as good at running the football as we expected? For two reasons. One, we don't have our number one running back, haven't yet.
Right. Yep. That's right.
And two, Jaden Roberts, who is arguably our best interior run blocking offensive lineman, is just now starting to get back into playing shape after going through concussion issues in fall camp. So now that's not an excuse, but those are some reasons of why you could maybe explain why it hasn't been quite as good as what we anticipated. And then there's a third thing, Jake. It's the passing game.
Yeah.
Okay. The way Ty's been throwing it, the way these receivers have been making plays in the passing game, do you really want to take the ball out of Germ's hand, out of Ryan Williams' hand, out of Latsir Brooks' hand, out of Zay Horton's hands? So there's only one football to go around, Jake. And so Alabama's kind of at this point of, look, let's feed the hot hands right now.
Right.
Let's get Jam Miller back in the lineup. Let's get Jaden Roberts fully healthy. Let's figure out the best starting five along the offensive line. And then maybe we might start seeing a little better push from the offensive line and a little more consistent rushing attack from this Alabama offense.
Yeah, I agree, Stacey. But I'm with you. I don't. It is a slight concern, but
it's a legitimate concern. It is a legitimate. Alabama, regardless of the reasons I laid out, should be better at running the football than they have been in the first three games, without question. Do not mistake what I'm saying. But I think it is important to lay out some of the potential reasons of why it's not been as good as what we anticipated it being.
Right. So yeah, I'm with you though. I think as we get guys back, as we get Jim Miller back, as we get Jaden Roberts fully healthy and him getting more reps alongside, Burrell's fourth and everybody else in the offensive line, and they start clicking, I think those holes are going to start showing up, and you're going to start seeing some plays being made by the running backs.
Yeah, I believe that. And look, it needs to be better, Jake. If you want to beat the Georgias on the road, if you want to beat a good Tennessee team, if you want to beat a good Oklahoma, Missouri, Auburn, LSU, you got to be able to run the football a little.
Right.
And so far, they haven't even been able to really do that yet, Jake. Right. And part of it is also that they haven't really tried much.
Right. Because, against ULM and against Wisconsin, you can pass it, and even if they try to, put 8 in coverage, you're still going to find holes and ways to beat teams like that. But when it gets to the Georgias, to the Tennessees, you've got to have a comparable running game to keep your passing game, honest. So they don't have 8, 9 guys, in coverage. when they know they can just send 3 and stop you at the line of scrimmage every single time.
Exactly.
You've got to have some kind of running attack to make them think, okay, well, they may run here, they may actually throw it deep. And the way Ty Simpson's been accurate with his throws, he can take one to the house.
Yeah. And I think the same thing when you talk about things that have not went as good as what we maybe have hoped for this year, and it's gotten better game by game, is the interior play along the defensive front seven.
Yeah.
And their ability to be more consistent, stopping the run. They haven't been terrible the last 2 weeks, and it was more on the perimeter against Florida State. But
Right.
I think Alabama is still a little susceptible up the middle. But once again, Jake, it's just like on the offensive side of the football. Should we be surprised that Alabama is a little light in the front seven, especially up the middle, when you're missing your best defensive lineman who can play the run, and also your inside linebacker Deontay Lawson's coming off an ACL injury, and he's just now getting back in the groove of things, getting his feet under him, more confident in that knee, and more comfortable in doing what he's supposed to be doing. So, I mean, should we be that surprised that it hasn't been what we thought it should be?
No, because you brought it up, Tim Keenan being hurt. When he's on, when he's on the field, he's getting a double team. So usually when he takes a double team, that's going to leave somebody with a free rush to the running back in that hole. So once we get a Tim Keenan back healthy, once Lawson starts getting some reps under him and gets more confidence built up, because I guarantee you, playing with a torn ACL, you probably had that in the back of your mind. It's like, anytime I make a move, I may tear this thing up again. But the more he's moving on, the more he's breaking and setting his feet and moving one way to another, he's just getting more confident. He's okay, I'm getting it feels good. And then that's when he's going to start taking off as well. So I'm not really concerned, especially with Tim Keenan coming back. I really feel like our interior play, like you said, has gotten better. London Simmons has really impressed me early on. Losing Jeremiah Beeman really hurt, but we do have guys there. Faga has made some plays. Edric Hill has made some plays. There's guys behind Tim Keenan that can make plays. They just got to put it all together.
And there's a reason they were not the starters.
Right, exactly.
Because Tim Keenan's just better right now. I mean, so it's sometimes the most simplest explanation is the best one.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's what's true for the struggles in the running game for Alabama offensively, and the struggles, the somewhat struggles for the defense as far as stopping runs right at the middle. So that we kind of got the bad out of the way, Jake. Now let's focus on what's been good so far. What's kind of went right so far for this Alabama team this year?
Number one's got to be Ty Simpson. I mean, you take out the, and we talked about, he didn't play bad against Florida State. He didn't really do anything flashy, but the biggest thing is he has not turned the ball over.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's huge, because it felt like by game 3 of last year, Jalen Hurts already had 2 or 3, Milroe. What did I say? Jalen Hurts. Good Lord. Milroe had already had a couple bad interceptions, and then, of course, it kind of spiraled, later on the season. But right now, Ty Simpson has been a bright spot. Germ, has been a bright spot. And, if Ryan Williams can just get his confidence back to catching over the middle of the field, not drop passes, this offense is about to take off. Because, I mean, I don't know how you stop all 3, like we talked about, the wide receivers, and then you have Rico Scott, Lazar Brooks, Josh Quavers is playing out of his mind right now at tight end, and then Kyle Edwards is starting to come in a little bit. So we get the running backs going. This team is truly going to go somewhere offensively, because Ty's leading that charge, and he is just taking care of the ball. 71% completion percentage right now. That's incredible.
Yeah, Jake. That's really about the biggest and brightest spot for this Alabama team so far this year is Ty Simpson. I mean, he's been phenomenal the last 2 weeks. I mean, the last 2 weeks, Jake, there hasn't been a better quarterback in college football.
There hasn't.
I mean, and look, he was labeled a game manager going into the year, and I know that has some negative connotation to it. And we don't view a game manager in a negative way. We view it in a positive way. But this guy's more than a game manager, Jake. He's a playmaker. He is a playmaker. Some of the throws that he has been making into tight windows into triple coverage, across the middle of the field, leading his receivers when they're not open yet, throwing them open.
Yep.
Making plays, escaping the pocket, avoiding sacks, picking up first downs with his feet. Ty Simpson is not just a game manager. He is a playmaker at the quarterback position. Now, look, we want to see it against Georgia. We want to see it against Tennessee, against the big dogs. That's what we want to see. We didn't see it week 1 against a top 10 team in Florida State, but it was his first career start, a hostile environment, and he didn't have much help around him.
Right.
So I think, like you mentioned, it seems like the offense is starting to gel. It seems like the receivers are more confident and comfortable with Ty. The offensive line is progressively getting better week by week. We believe with Jan Miller coming back, the running game is going to get a little bit better week by week, and all that's going to do is help Ty.
Yep.
I mean, it's just going to give him more confidence to make plays in this offense. And I mean, he has been on a tear the last couple of weeks, and I mean, he's basically for the season averaging around 300 yards a game and 3 passing touchdowns a game, and completing 70% of his passes.
Yep.
That's impressive stuff, Jake.
Very impressive. And, I see why there was such a QB battle last year. And I don't know, you got to give it to the guy who's like the older guy if he wins out. But, man, Ty Simpson surely is special, and I'm glad he's getting a shot here because he's really good. And he's been a bright spot, like you said, so far this season for us. And he's getting, like you said, he gets his chance in 2 weeks. Georgia, top 10 matchup on the road, and going to be a night game, so that place is going to be loud. Let's see how he does in this game. And honestly, Stacey, I know we got that blemish, on the first week of the season, but the way he's playing, and if he throws, say, 250 plus yards, two touchdowns, and Alabama wins this game, how do you not have him as a front runner at Heisman at this moment? Because
there's no doubt he should be in the mix.
Right, exactly. So keep your eye on that, because I really think he's got a good shot at Heisman this year, the way he's playing so far.
If he keeps playing the way he's playing, obviously, I'm not talking about completing 24 of 29 or 25 of 29 against Georgia, but
yeah,
I mean, if you go 20 of 30 for 250 and a couple touchdown passes, and you don't turn the football over, and you leave Athens with a win,
yeah,
there's going to be a lot of people talking about Ty Simpson on Sunday morning.
Absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
Ty Simpson has been really, really good the last couple of weeks, and hopefully he can continue that following the bye week. There's going to be one more thing I mentioned as a bright spot, and it's not nowhere near as bright as what Ty has been. And you've actually already mentioned his name. It's London Simmons, Jake. This is a guy, a 3-star recruit from Mississippi. Everybody laughed when we signed him, and this dude just played, man. I mean, he hasn't been perfect. Don't get me wrong. He's not Tim Keenan. He's not James Smith. He's not Jeremiah Beaman. Jake, he's rock solid. You're going to get the same London Simmons every game.
Right.
He's going to be rock solid. And I'll be honest with you, he's a little more twitchy than I thought he was when he first arrived on campus. And, I mean, he got a sack the other day, was in the backfield multiple times against Wisconsin. And I know they were struggling on the interior of their line with injuries, but this guy's a true freshman. None of those guys were true freshmen.
Yeah, right.
And they're playing for a Power 4 team in Wisconsin. So I think Alabama fans have to be pleased with London Simmons. That's definitely been a bright spot, considering he was kind of thrown to the fire with just a couple days before the Florida State game. And overall, he's played pretty well for a true freshman that was a 3-star prospect.
Yeah, absolutely, Stacey. You brought up the 3-star prospect. I think the coaching staff saw what the potential could be in that kid, and there's like, we got to have him. And then when he got on campus and he signed, everybody's like, why did they sign a 3-star guy? You're going to see the reason why they signed a 3-star guy, because by the end of the year and first of next year, when he's probably going to win that job, man, this kid's going to be special, I do believe. So I'm excited to see his growth and what he can do in the next couple of years.